Good evening, everyone. These guys are Defiers. You're a Defier. Guess what? You can join the inner circle by going to DFY Magic Themes / live for you. Is it cold where you are, Robert?
I'll have to explain.
You have to explain. Well,
Yeah.
shall we? I'll tell you what we should explain straight after this. Well, a very good evening to you. Hope you're all doing well this evening. Wherever you may be around the world, it's afternoon, morning, whatever it may be. First in the room tonight was Ivan, followed by Barry, followed by Richard, followed by Paul, Laurie. Who else was in? Have I mentioned Barry? I can't remember. Colin and Stefan. So hello to everyone who's inside the room. It's been a mad week. We're going to talk tonight about the Magic Ranker, the website ranking system that our members have been patiently waiting for. I've finally got there. We'll talk more about that in a bit. And also the accountability program, which is going really well so far. And we've got some great action takers inside of that. All this and lots more here on DFY Magic Themes live for you. What a cold night it is. Tell you what, South Park has brought Kenny back, haven't they? If you've seen South Park, how you doing, Kenny? it's like that, isn't it? Who killed Kenny?
Who killed Kenny? All right, I have to get into the you guys
into the mode. Happy. What is it?
So I'm just trying to experience what the rest of the world has to do in the wintertime, like wear these big heavy jackets and hoods, and I'm about to die. So if I don't get out of it, I'm going to pass out. But I love to share Facebook things of the winter snow from Florida. It's incredible, the stuff I can share.
I'm going to take my house tonight. It's not that cold in there.
Oh man, it's hot in here. I'll be right back.
You wouldn't believe that, would you, for 1 minute, that where he is, it's boiling hot, and where I am, it's freezing cold. But I know we got a few people in the UK, and we've had a cold snap lately. It's been very, very cold in here. I know I got Paul nodding and Richard nodding. And thing is Richard's up north, you see, and you know you got to be rock hard as nails up there. So the bottom line is, it doesn't matter. You know, you go up there with the Yorkshire. Let me just share the screen so everyone can see this a minute. Gallery, as you can
30
see,
Celsius. Oh, that's cold.
Richard was pointing to Yorkshire tea, and up north, you know, it's like back in the day. I used to work down pit 365 days a year, and used to have a crumb of bread, right, living gutter, and that was luxury. You know, young people don't know when they were born. That's what I think. Is that a good impression, Richard? Let me ask him to unmute a minute.
Yeah, that was a very, very famous sketch in Monty Python.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You reminded me now. Yeah.
It's on YouTube, and you want to look it up. It's quite funny actually. But Barry's from up north. He's from to the side.
Is he? Oh, let's ask him to unmute. We can bring the border divide together. You see, can't we, Barry?
Oh, you see, this is it.
Are you saying he's from the other side?
Well, he's
I'm in Cheshire, but very close to Lancashire border.
I'm going to say It's got
So
a
tell me, do you tread on each other's feet when it comes to doing websites?
the
No, 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 no.
Nope, nope,
I'm always
nope.
treading on Robert's feet, and I'm miles away from him.
Yep, yep.
Steve, you forgot about the flat cap and whippets, man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
that's right. Yeah,
A flat cap and whippets.
yeah.
That's it.
And you
So
say,
what the heck did he say?
also you've got to remember,
I understand.
you know,
Yeah, of course.
I'll transcribe it for you later, Robert. All right.
yeah.
All right.
The other one is that where's the best black pudding in the world made?
Oh, well, I'll take a
Oh,
stab
we
at
know
it.
that one. I'm not far from Bury.
Or it's Bury,
Bury.
Bury.
Blackchester.
Bury.
Must be like Blackchester or something like that.
So that's a good story as well for the Lancastrians.
When Robert said he was close to Wellington, right? I drove from here. I drove through a town called Taunton, and then to another town called Wellington. Went looking for him, couldn't find him.
Ah, see?
He's lying to me.
Yeah,
Funny how that worked, isn't it?
yeah,
So is it cold where everybody's at?
yeah.
Yeah, we're getting nods. We're getting nods. So yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
on
well,
Facebook.
-4 yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw a Facebook thing about the Tesla cars in where was it? Chicago, and the door handles wouldn't open because they were frozen. Couldn't even get in the cars. It's like, wow, didn't nobody thought about that? You're gonna have to defrost the door handles.
Yeah,
Minus
I
13.
did.
Wow.
I did that 3 times last few days. Couldn't get in the car at all.
Bobby's saying it's 30 where he is, and Paul says it's 1.99. Always one, isn't there?
Well, Bob's down on the island, so he's got 92. I think
92
it's
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
70 going to go down to 50s tonight here in Florida. There's a cold front coming through.
And Eric says 25 in PA. So I don't know what it is. It's just blooming cold. Blooming cold. That's all I got to say. So right, let's switch back to the normal view because we've got a few things to talk about tonight, and we're going to start off with the accountability program. Don't you think, Robert?
No, I want to tell a thing that's going on that you guys have to keep in mind.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My son ran into this, and we're kind of talking to the guy, but we've been around, and we know this local shop owner. My son became friends with him, and it's an opportunity for my son, but it's a travesty to what happened to the business owner. So he has a successful website running. He has a successful business running. In addition, that's not so website independent. And he was offered by somebody to rebuild his website. And this is what happens to business owners all the time. They don't know. So they hear the dream, they see somebody very excited to do something for them, right? And they take it on. I know he paid north of $25,000 for a rebuild for his website. And at the time, before he started the rebuild, you have to hear the numbers, pay attention. He was doing over $200,000 a month through website business alone. So the business is not like it's on the sketchy side. He's doing well. That's website business only. 200 grand a month. The guy does the rebuild, destroys the SEO. Website looks wonderful, really looks nice, functions nice, does all the things it's supposed to do. And my son and I were looking at the SEO, and at the end of the day, it was the worst SEO I've seen ever. First test, right? You look at it. How many H1 tags? He's got 5 H1 tags on the build. He's got numerous, just everything is wrong error-wise for SEO. Every keyword, every H tag has nothing to do with the niche. It's like call us, contact us, the basic website words that mean nothing to Google. So he dropped from $200,000 a month to $20,000 a month on website revenue because of this change. Now, what does the business owner do? Does he sue the guy? He didn't know what to do. He doesn't know it's been 6 months like that. So he's lost 100, 150 plus every month for the last 6 months. That's just like, I don't know what the contracting was, what the guy said he was going to do or wasn't going to do, but I know at the end of the day, these business owners out there are getting these people that come in to do something to make their money and leave them hanging out to dry with the rest of the program. That would be like for Stephen and I come in here and teach you guys to build a website, but never show you anything else. Never show you how to edit it. Never show you how to make the right progress forward. That I think is unfair, but I'm telling you this story not to do anything except cement in your mind that these things are happening in real world business every day to local business owners. And I don't care what the niche is. I don't care where you are. It's one business offering a website. It's another business offering SEO. It's another business offering something else. They're selling local businesses website services that they may or may not need. And because the business owners don't know it, don't understand it, and have been beaten up so much on it, that they take this stuff on to make the changes that they think is going to go from 10 to 100. And in reality, what can happen is it can go from 10 to 2. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes or doesn't go. But I just thought it was like unbelievable. And I heard this thing happening, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and the business owner has been busy doing other things, and the website is not his priority at the moment. Should be, but he doesn't know who to turn to. And that's where this kind of like is interesting. So if something develops, we'll let you know in the future. But in the meantime, we'll go from there. But think about that when you're talking to a business owner that says, "Oh, I had a guy work on my website and he ruined it." Well, in some conversations, it's going to be he ruined it because he destroyed the SEO.
Do you know something as well? That a guy called Jamie Jambo, who's a children's entertainer, I was looking after him before the pandemic for a few years, and I built his website for him. I got him to page 1 of Google. He was getting tons of calls coming in, and he came to me and went, "Oh, I want to redesign it," and I don't like the look of it. And I said, "Are you getting lots of work?" He went, "Yes." Just don't mess with it. Leave it alone. He insisted on rebuilding it himself. So he rebuilt it. He dropped to page 16 on Google. And he turned around and said, "Oh, I really need your help." And he's a friend of mine. And I've stopped doing work for family and friends because you can't separate that. The problem you have when you're doing something for family, they want family rates. They want it to be done for free or cheap. So I redid all his SEO for him, got him back up to page 1 of Google, lots of money coming in. And a year after, he goes, "I want to redesign my site again." And I said to him, "You could have damaged your site again. You did it last time." And I said, "Look, okay, you do whatever you want with your site, but I can't do your SEO again unless you pay me." And I gave him prices up front. Anyway, I set him up a spare domain. He built this site up and he said, "I want it live now." And I went, "I've checked your SEO, it's shit." And he went, "Well, I want it live now." So I gave him a disclaimer and I got him to sign it and send it back to me, which was that he understood that he may not be on page 1 of Google and this, that, and the other. And there's a full list of things I was telling him about his site. Made his site live. I did keep a copy of that old site for a little while. Made his site live, and 6 months down the line, he started ringing me going, "Oh, I'm not getting any work coming in." And I said, I just sent him another copy of his signed disclaimer stating that. And I said, "I can get it fixed for you, but it's going to cost you £800. That's just to start with, and then there's going to be a monthly fee to keep it up there." "I haven't got the money." I said, "We should have saved up when you had the money." Because I ended up micromanaging him 2 times over when the second time he could have left his site well alone, and he did the same. He's not an SEO guy, he's not a web designer, but he can do some things online, and he made the same schoolboy mistakes of too many H1 tags, too many H2 tags, all the wrong keywords, and he screwed his site over. And ever since, whenever he comes to me now, I just give him a recommended SEO guy, and I say, go and see him. And he comes back, well, the guy wants thousands, I can't afford it. I said, we should have left with your old site. Can you put it back up for me? Yes, I haven't got it now. I don't mean to be cruel to him, but he has to learn a lesson. Plain and simple.
But you know what you just said is very true. We don't know always what the websites for these businesses are pulling in for them income wise. And even though you give them a number and they say it's so expensive, the reality is we don't know in a lot of cases how much they're really making from their websites. And some of them are doing very well. They're just cheap and don't want to pay you. And they know if they whinge and they cry, you're going to give them a better price. That's the way of the world in business. So I just thought it was an interesting story, and that it does happen out there. So you have to feel for what's going on. You have to have that mentality ready, because these things are going to come up from people, from potential clients that you're calling.
Plus, if it's not broke, don't mend it. If you've got a site that's running really well for you and you want to redesign it, build a new front page for it, but keep the same content on there, and then make that the front page, but leave the original front page on your site somewhere to carry on indexing as it goes along. And don't add to it, don't take away from it, because I know companies that have gone. One guy went from a 200-page website which was doing brilliantly, went to another SEO guy who said, I'll rebuild your site. He went down to a 4-page website. So he lost all that other traffic from the other pages overnight. It took one of my guys 6 months to rebuild all the links back up for him. We charged him accordingly. It cost him a fortune. So, don't mend what isn't broken, basically. Shall we move on to the accountability program? Absolutely.
So we have most people on the call line with us are in the program, and a couple are not. But I would say it's been a very busy week. I would say that if anything, we're learning how to try to dial in and use Facebook in the group, because that's where the complications tend to be for people finding what's important and what's not. But the accountability program itself, the feedback so far, I think, has been, well, anybody that wants to chime in certainly can. One, if you have learned something. Two, if you've wasted time and you haven't gotten anywhere yet.
Can we say something that's really important? We've had a couple of people come back and go, where's all the content, right? And we're doing this differently, right? We're going to do it week by week and have the content as we go along, all right? We want everyone to be at the same place. What we have found in the past, and this has been a big issue with the build, rent, rank training, is people go in, they follow some of it, they get bored for whatever reason, and they go and do something else. They come back and they jump to the bit which they want to do the most, which is build mass pages, mass location pages. But the problem being, if you don't do the bits in the middle, you'll end up damaging your sites. So with the accountability program, we want everyone to go in there, and as we add new content, we're going to put in the group, hey, there's some new content added. Please go and check it out in your members area. When we've got all the content is always going to be in your members area. We're not going to put content into the Facebook group, because what happens, as Robert said the other day to me, is we put a bit of content up, a video about how to do something. Then the next day we put another video up, so they're in order. Someone comes in and puts a comment on the first video, and that puts it above the second video. And then the third video comes in, the fourth, they comment on the fourth, and then you end up with video 1, 4, 3, 2, and you can't make your mind up what you're doing. So instead of putting them into anything inside the accountability Facebook group, it's all in your members area. It's all in the right order. And what you'll find as of Monday, there'll be new content being added. Now, we could push everyone a lot harder and we could put a lot more content in. but we've sat down and worked out if we drip feed it in the way we're doing, right, then you'll soon have your agency site built properly with citations and social media and everything you need to get done, right? And if you get behind on the weeks where we make it sort of the same pace every week, let's say this week something came up in your family, like in the case of my daughter Emily, who hurt her hand, she's fine now, her hand's back to normal, but and I had to take her to A&E. Imagine that we gave you 3 weeks worth of content in a week. And then the following week, we'll give you another 3 weeks of content. You're going to be overwhelmed. And go, oh my God, I'm way behind. I'm going to get kicked off, whatever. We don't want that. So we're going to do it at a pace week by week. And if you get behind, you can soon catch up the following week. When you get to a month that you're way behind, it's going to be a problem. All we ask is those that are on the accountability program, please, when you're asked to inside of the training, to go to the accountability group and comment on something or tick a poll, be interactive, right? If you can't, for any reason, let's say you can't access Facebook, you've been kicked out, open a support ticket and say why you can't, so we are aware of that situation, all right? And it may be that we'll say back to you in that ticket, well, when we ask you to go to a Facebook group and post X, Y, Z, instead, can you respond in a support ticket? It's important that we keep on the same pace, we keep everyone at the same place, and it's important to us to know where you are at. Because if we get to a 4 weeks' time and we've got somebody in the group that isn't keeping up, either something's going on in their life, and we may say to you, come away from the program, right? Get yourself to a point when you're ready, and when we do a rerun of this in a couple of months' time, you can come back on that one, all right? But we want people to be telling us all the time where they're at, how they're getting on, and what they're doing. If you're not following the program, then why are you in it? Is the point,
Well, that being said, right, we've laid it out so that it follows what we're giving you for materials and what you're going to do on the build, and so that it's step by step. It's layout, it's follow. It's layout, it's follow. But if you start getting too far ahead, what will happen is something we may show you because you went ahead, then the part we showed you, you missed. And when it comes to the week 2, there's a sequence, and the sequence is put that way for a reason because there's time delays. And if you don't follow the time delays, you'll get yourself in trouble. So it's follow the course, follow the plan of action. The Facebook group is to be interactive, to ask those questions that we can simply answer for, everybody. If it's one question that you have, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 more people may have the same question, but we want to keep the question dialed in to where we're at in the training. If we go too far ahead, we're not going to answer the questions because it may be answered in the following week's training.
So hopefully that's answered some questions for you guys with that. We're chuffed a bit for those that have come in. We're keeping the group small at the moment, and anybody who's watching the replay of this or watching live in one of the free groups, if you're still interested, comment below and we'll get you added to an email list for when we reopen this, because we don't want too many people coming in. We want to look after the people that if people have to drop out, we won't be replacing anyone. The people who are in the group now are the people in the group. And then once we've gone through this from start to finish, and I mean, we are literally nitpicking everything. It's the SEO week 1. Week 2 is going to be building your agency site. Week 3, we're going to talk about citations and stuff, and it's going to go on like that until you're at a point in a few weeks' time that you've got everything built on your. So really, in the first month, you'll be able to have your agency site up and running and everything done with it to push it up. And then month 2, we're going to get the other 9 sites built, all done very, very quickly. All right. Sarah says, in case I missed it, where is it that you are posting which homework is due and when? All homework, everything is going to be inside the members area that you've already got access to, Sarah. So we will not. The only things that's going to be in the Facebook group is, hey, there's new training in your members area, or we've got a poll up asking you, for an example, have you done this? Yes or no? And we just want you to be interactive so we know people are taking action, right? And don't be ashamed to say no to something. If you're behind on something, mark it, because what if we see someone, let's say we had 15 people go, yeah, I'm all built, I'm all done, and 5 people go, I'm lost. We'll pull you onto a separate Zoom call to find out why and get you to where the other 10 people are. There's nothing wrong with struggling. There's nothing wrong with being behind. We want to help everybody in a group so we can get you to that same point in 4 weeks' time that everything's done for your agency site. And once you've done that once, you'll understand then when we start doing the other sites, it's going to be the same process apart from the install file. And me and Robert are going to do that on the other 9 sites. There's 10 sites up in total. And when they're all set up, then we're ready to roll and keep moving on with more stuff to help you with that and get to the point where we're then going to start finding clients. We're going to help you with that. There's so much to this, which is why Robert said he'd like it done in 2 months. I think it's going to be close to 3 months with the content we're going to be doing.
Oh, we're going to have to take a bet. We're going to have to see who's right on that one.
I reckon I might be. I started going through it, but I didn't see what was due. I'll check it. So
okay, can somebody answer this question for me? When you look in Facebook, does it show you a section called featured posts?
While you're looking, Sarah says yes. So
anybody else got a yes?
Just to say, Sarah, always follow the members area of the content. All right. So week 1's training is already in there. It's the SEO training. Go and watch it all the way through. All right. And there'll be points in the training where it's going to say afterwards, great, you finished this section. Now go and do this. For example, go to our Facebook, for this link and comment on this post. That's all we're going to ask you to do. A very short thing, so we know that you're meant to be. Colin says, I'm looking but never noticed it.
Okay, so that featured section is where I will pin anything of importance or anything like, the questions are put in play for the members that are in the group that are struggling. If you're great, everything's perfect. I don't know that you got through the members area. I don't know that you didn't have problems, right? So we put that post in to say, are you good or you're not good? And if you're not good, then why aren't you good? Right? So that's how we're going to handle this. But at the same time, everybody feeding back, giving information, asking the questions, because like I said, if we ask it in the group, that one simple question, probably 4 or 5 more people had the same question. They just hadn't asked it yet or hadn't gotten to that material. So that's why we're a little slower on the start in week 1, but at the same time, we know everybody knows where the members area is now. We know that the members area will always have all the content, all the resources that you're going to use. And it's going to be coming out as the next week 2 is when week 1 finishes. We're not going to give you week 2, 3, 4, and 5 until we've reached them, because we want to make sure everybody's okay as we're coming through the program itself. Is that clear for everybody? And now that everybody knows where featured posts are, do the images in the featured posts make sense? Because they're like update things of where you should be or what you should be looking at. When is the next scheduled live call? Probably, I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
It depends on the feedback we're getting. If everybody is following along and doing okay, then we're good. Because the live calls are just, there's no difference to the live call, except it's harder for everybody to be on a scheduled time across the platforms that we're in all over the place. So I think what I'm seeing and what you're seeing is correct. There is featured posts. We put them in there. Don't need to be late Sunday.
Do they need to be late Sunday? Bob, just out of interest, I mean, the reason we've timed it then is we have some people in the group that are on different time zones, and we tried to plan it where it's like not till o'clock in the morning for them. Unfortunately, we've got someone from Australia who'll get, I think it's early in the morning to try and be on it. what time does work better for you, and we'll see if we can accommodate Bob. Plus, when we do those calls on a Sunday, 3 to 4 EST, that's about.
Well,
That's
the last one we
8 p.m.
did
8
was
p.m.
three.
UK. Yeah.
The last one we did was 3. Was that too late for you, Bob? You missed it because of the time, or
Yeah, this is before.
you were on that one? I don't remember.
We might be able to put it back an hour earlier, but I'll have to check with a couple other members who sometimes find it difficult because it's like a silly clock in the morning for them, I think, or late, or I can't remember which way. Time zones are always a mess. He leaves before. So if need be, Bob, what we will do, we'll keep that in consideration. And what we can always do is start an hour earlier, and those that want to join us an hour early can just hop on, right? And then we'll go on we'll go on till 4 p.m. EST. So we'll stay live for a couple of hours, and for anyone else who's hopping in, it's just these calls, by the way, are just getting you guys in and saying to you, how are you getting on? Are you struggling with anything? It's been like 4 weeks. Where you stuck? But also between now and then, by you answering the questions in the Facebook group, we know whether you're stuck or not. We know whether we go, okay, we got 3 people stuck. Let's get them on a call, separate call, at a suitable time that was, it may be like Bob said, he can't make it a particular time, but we might have somebody else on the same time zone, and we could get 2 of you on a call and help you both at the same time. What happens normally with me in the past is I've done lots of one-on-one calls, and then I don't have time to support everyone else, or spend time with family or stuff like that. Recently, we've had somebody who has struggled to even turn up for calls. Not anyone who's here now, but this person has since moved on from the whole program. He's gone to something else now. But the thing is like this person, I had to be in my office at 11 p.m. UK time instead of spending time with my partner. And I said, sorry, I've got to go out and do a call. She understands. So I waited out here for half an hour. He didn't show up. And that's half an hour I could have been in my house spending time with my partner. So, admittedly, everybody who's on this call tonight, and most of you I've probably done calls with, have always turned up for them and always been on time. So,
well, can I
we're always
just
grateful for that.
Let me just say something there. Look, at the end of the day, we're doing this for everyone, and we're trying to make sure that everything is in a place that everybody can get to it at any time they need to get to it. That there is no possible way to have a schedule that works for everybody. There just isn't. So
No.
That's why the Zoom calls, as much as they can be a community call and answer questions, if we put a poll in the group and everybody is active on that poll, right? And it's 2 questions. It's yes, I need help, or no, I don't, right? And if we see there's so many people that are stuck and they're answering, 5 out of 10 people can't figure this out, then we're going to do something. We're going to either record what that's about, cover it, schedule a call just to cover that problem, and invite everybody into it. But we don't know unless you guys participate. That's why it is the accountability program. It's to ask, get answers, move forward. And that's it at the end of the day. The whole program is in the members area. There's nothing that you desperately have to do in Facebook except comment here and there when you see them. Go to that featured post thing, see what it looks like, and make comments in the polls or answer the questions. It shows us that you're participating in the program. Again, we can't see who downloaded, who did the work until there's a site built. And we will ask to see in a support ticket. I don't know how exactly we're handling that yet. We want to see the URL. We want to see that you're ready for that next step. We're not just going to do this and not get action out of you guys, because we want you to proceed and have success. You won't be able to have that in our program unless you do the build, unless you do the work. So, I don't want to be the bad guy, but if we're not in it to win it, you guys, then the program doesn't fit you. So, if we're not going to participate, we're not going to do what we want to do to get this done. And I get it. Life gets in the way. Things happen. That's okay. Just communicate. But if people go dark and they go silent and there's no response, after a couple of weeks, the access is going to be cut. And I used to think I wouldn't do it, but now after week 1, I will, because we're not going to dance around and carry people that don't want to be in the program. Just I won't waste my time on it. I know that sounds cold, but
to answer your question, Bob, I have looked at Discord and Slack and Telegram. The problem being, in the past, when we started opening up more and more platforms for people get lost even more, right? And so it's like, where are we meeting? Are we meeting on Discord? Are we meeting on Facebook? So we took the decision in the end just to stick with Facebook in one place. It's the same place every time. When we set a new group up, there's no arguments about where we are. And whilst I do sort of like the idea of Discord a bit, I just think that we're going to be all over the place with what we're doing a bit too much. So, and that's the only reason why.
If you start on new platforms, you're going to lose me. Yes, I'll still be back on Facebook. And Lori, I apologize if I hurt you in your thinking after the question answer session there, but there's lots to think about. And, we don't always have a crystal ball to answer your question in what you're thinking when you ask the question. You're looking at something and you're saying, and at that time can you open your mic for a minute?
Sure.
And at that time, when you're doing that research or that question pops in your head, you have something in particular, and we're blind as a bat when
Sure.
it comes to what you were looking at. So we have to answer with the variables to the question, and then when you get that answer back, it's gonna make you rethink what your question was.
Mhm.
And it's okay. It's good, because that answer and that question other people had. And this is why the community and the Facebook and the question and answers work, because other people are getting information from questions somebody else already asked.
Right.
And
right.
that's the part that really works well. It's when we are talking about A and we have questions coming out about B and C that we haven't gone over yet, that sends people that are just getting A done off on a tangent, like they missed something, and it's a panic.
Right.
So
right. No, it was it was a question I had, and I answered it. And your answer really, that's what I love about it. It makes me think, and I learn. And then everybody else, they'll chip in, and that's how we all learn. I love it.
No, it was a great question.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a great question. There's no stupid question. There's no dumb question. You had a question, you asked it, but it tends to raise 4 more questions.
Right.
Because that's how this is. But
Yeah.
it works that way because it's a growth pattern, right? And when you start to dissect, from where you start with, I don't know how to build WordPress, to the questions you're asking now, that's knowledge, wisdom, and experience. And you're going to be the website whisperer in Denver here shortly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am. I'm not going to stop till I am.
I mean, she's doing so well now, right? That she's actually moved. She's no longer got that big red bridge behind her in her back garden.
Right.
Did you get fed up with painting it, Laurie?
Yes, it's too expensive.
Yeah, I bet it is.
She bought the damn mountain. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's easy to look. You just leave a mountain, chuck a couple of goats on it. You're done, aren't you?
Totally.
Thank you,
No,
Laurie.
How did you like week 1, by the way, Laurie?
Oh, I loved it. Like I'd said that I understood keyword research, right? But I never really went into those kind of details, looking at the numbers and really what the numbers meant, right? I was more high level, and maybe at times I got pretty lucky, but I also had some help in finding the keywords I had. So I really liked it. And that's why it opened up that question. And that's what I love about it. I'm always learning.
This is what's important is, so you don't know all the stuff that's coming yet because it's still coming, right? But
Right.
at the end of the day, this is the foundation. Like Stephen talks about it all the time. You build the foundation right, and you keep working off of that strong foundation, and you're good. It's when you take the pot shot at something and see if it works or doesn't work. You can do that, but why spend all that time?
Right.
And you know that when we get to the next part that Stephen's going to be talking about here in a minute, once you put the second and third locomotive behind the train, there's no stopping it because it just has too much. That's what
Nice.
gets exciting.
Yeah.
So
Totally. I'm totally
Yeah.
excited. And I see everybody else, your faces, you're excited too.
Now, if you're not in for any reason, it's only week one, right? And you can still head to dfymagicthemes.com/win2024 2024. Pop your details in. But also, if you are a member, inner circle member, or you're already into our system, pop a support ticket in, because tonight after the live, I'll go and check support tickets, and also tomorrow throughout the day while I'm working, I'll also keep an eye out for any tickets if you're not in. I know we've got one person in the group who went, "Oh, I'm not in yet." Don't panic. Right, there's still time to catch up.
That window is closed after today because we're going to start week 2 and there's no catching up.
Well, I will say, I'll be a little bit fair. I'm going to say when we launch week 2's content for Monday, we close the window off completely at that point.
So it has to be, because
so Sunday evening Monday morning I'll be checking, because once you get more than 2 weeks behind, you can't you will feel overwhelmed, and you'll be playing catch up all the time. You have to do week 1s, then week 2s. Right, and when we get to the end of the month, we're going to have that meeting, right? Once we've gone through that content, and we're going to pull everyone in. Whether we have to do 2 meetings because of time zones, we will. But we want to get people in and say, okay, where are you at? Have you done this? Right? Because if we've got someone in the group that's gone through all 4 weeks and gone, I've done nothing. Bye-bye for now. Come back in a couple of months. We'll bring you back in a couple of months' time when you're ready. But for the moment, bye-bye. All right? And just to say, the people who've got in right now have got in on this program for free. All right. There are some people who are paying monthly for the softwares and stuff like that. That's by and by. But the point is that the actual training we're doing, we've given everyone access for free. Now, once we get past everyone who's done it and we've brought everyone up to speed, we are going to charge a fee for that training in the future. Because it costs time and money for us to put it together. And that's why we're making it step by step. So if you're not in by Sunday, next time there'll probably be a charge to get in.
Would anybody be brave enough to put a price of what they think week 1's course should be at by itself?
Well, you type that in the chat. I'll ask Laurie to unmute again. And what would you say, Laurie?
Of
Sarah
course,
said
I
497.
said, I was going to wait for everybody else to answer.
Well, Sarah said 497 just for week 1's alone.
Yeah, I would probably stick with that as well. You know, I mean, it's because it's hardcore information. It's not any fluff stuff.
Ivan said 197 a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so Bob says priceless.
I like Bob's answer because he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
But
to me, it was.
You have to put values to knowledge and then wisdom and taking action. It's you guys taking action. If nobody watches the material, if nobody takes action to put the things in process, for one, you don't learn. For two, you don't gain anything. So you take the opportunities as they come. You know, did Stephen and I learn that, yesterday? No, it took years of painful things to happen to start putting all that knowledge in one place. And I don't like the word, but I think it expresses what happens. We're not trying to throw up all over you guys, but at the same time, we are. We're going to just throw up everything, and you're going to follow what we do step by step all the way through the process. And for me, it's close the doors down before week 2 starts because there's no catching up after that. If you missed it, there'll be an opportunity in the future, but we don't know when.
Yeah, because we want to
That's
get
the ingenious
everyone who's
part.
in here. Yeah.
That's the
Go on.
ingenious part of this training is that makes me so excited is because everybody's at different levels in this class, but the way you guys are explaining it is really from the bottom up, which is exactly how we should learn it. And I'm excited because all these golden nuggets and knowledge that you guys have that I don't have, I'm going to receive, you know? So
And
I'm stoked.
something else I was going to say, me and Robert, before we came on the call, were talking about this. We've got some members who are jumping ahead on the old BRR training. So what we decided to do over the weekend, as I've got time, is those who are in the accountability group, we're going to remove from your logins the BRR training, because what's going to happen is you're going to be following 2 training programs, right? And you're going to be jumping ahead on one, trying to get ahead of everyone when you don't know some of the nuggets we're going to be bringing you that are in between the bits that are missing inside the BRR training. We've gone over the BRR training and me and Robert gone, that bit's missing. We need to write that down. This bit's missing. Laurie messaged us on support and gone, I don't understand this. Write that down. So this has been lots and lots and lots of content, support tickets, stuff coming from you guys, which we love that we suck up that information from you. So we decided that we need to pull it back. So we're gonna be going in over the weekend. So if you log into your members area and the BRR training's gone, don't panic. All right, because we're gonna take you through these steps. So that way then, when let's say Laurie hasn't got access to the licensing for some reason because she missed a step, well, that's going to be in the training so that you don't miss it. And at the end of week 2, you'll have access to everything you're meant to have access to in the right way. And we're doing it modular so that in the future, if we have to change anything, we can just change one small part instead of a whole section of it. So, thank you for your input there, Laurie.
As always, we appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the training, and we know everybody's going to do well.
Colin says, Laurie, send Steve and Robert an invoice. That's hilarious. Right. Something else I'm going to talk about, but I'm only going to talk about a part of this now and the rest in the Inner Circle group. The Magic website ranking training course, for those that have put the support tickets in, you should have had a reply back. And it's starting to look really good. Some of the stuff we're gonna be adding to it in the next couple of weeks is the AI stuff, how to use AI with the Magic Ranker to boost your sites even more. I've already built one of these systems and I ranked a customer site locally and it went from page 17 of Google to the bottom of page 1 within 2 weeks. Right? And their SEO is not great on their website, plain and simple. But there's some more information I want to share on this on the Inner Circle. I know we're going to get comments about what is the Magic Ranking System. It's a system that can rank your websites, basically. When all the training is fully back in that members area over the coming week and a couple of weeks, and I'm happy, then we're going to relaunch it to all the groups. So if you're watching the replay, right, pop underneath the word magic, hashtag magic, and that'll tell us that you haven't, the company you're not inside that training and you're interested. All right. And then we can reach out to you and let you know when it's available. All right. But at the moment, the only people that are getting access back to this are the people who bought in last time from us. So, so you'll be pleased to know what's happening. Please repeat that hashtag. It's hashtag magic. All right. MAGIC magic. And as soon as it's ready for everyone, I know right now there's one video. I thought there's meant to be more than one video in there. There's meant to be quite a few videos in there. I will check, Stefan, because maybe I thought it had been enabled. As soon as I'm off this call, I will log in as somebody. I normally log in as Robert, and I will recheck the system because there should be a few videos in there, which is interesting. I might
Oh,
even check.
just like magic, they disappeared. Ah,
Yeah.
log in as nobody.
Right. What I am going to do now is hit a couple of buttons, and do you want to sum up while I go and find the 30-second switch jingle?
Sum up.
Yeah.
Take action. Get involved with something that's going to work for you. Look at things for the long haul. You know, see everything that you want to do by the end. Don't hesitate on taking action on something that you're unsure of. If we don't take chances, if we don't fail forward, and that's how I'm going to say it, because we're always going to fail at something. But when we fail, we learn and we grow. If we never fail at anything, we've never learned anything. That's just how it is. So get into something, whether it's Stephen and myself, if it's another group, if it's just be involved, take action and grow with something, learn and keep going. Don't ignore your passion for something that you want to get done. Don't let others steal your fire. You know, they'll blow it out. You have to work on something that you're passionate about. It's so much. That's where you always win, when you're passionate about doing something. If you don't like it and you just drudge through it like a job, you have to make an income. You have to make a living. But at the end of the day, who's making the money? The people you're working for. So I'm not saying quit your job. I'm just saying find something that you're passionate about. Stay with it, learn it, and keep going. Fair enough?
Absolutely. Right, we always seem to overrun on these things, so we're going to say goodbye to all the freebie groups. And if you want to come and join the inner circle and find out what we're talking about, you can go to dfymagicthings.com/live for you. Sign up monthly, and when you sign up, you get taken to the inner circle Facebook group. We keep an eye on that. You get added, and there's a link to come into the Zoom call from there. So apart from that, we will keep bringing value every week, but otherwise we'll see all the free groups next week. See you soon.
Take care, everybody.